Hi, my name is Valerie and I'm 29 years old. I've wanted to talk about this for a long time, but due to legal issues, I couldn't until now. Now that I can, I want to share my story as a warning to my mother-in-law. I don't want her to come near us again. Adrian and I met because of our mothers. His mother, Felicia, and my mother, Veronica, were old friends. One day, they met for coffee after many years and realized they both had single children. They decided to set us up, and a week later, Adrian and I found ourselves at the same coffee shop. Though it was a bit awkward that our mothers set us up, we quickly warmed up to each other. We found out we had a lot in common, like our love for action movies and pizza. We were so engrossed in our conversation that we didn't notice the time passing. As the sun began to set, we said goodbye but promised to meet again soon. The next week, we met for a newly released action movie and pizza. We continued to go on dates almost every week for the next 2 months. I found myself falling deeply in love with Adrian. He also fell in love with me, which I could tell because his face would light up every time he saw me. He paid close attention to everything I said, and if I mentioned something I wanted, he would often surprise me with it on our next date. I loved his sense of humor, how attentive he was, and how much he cared for me. Because of this, I was the one to make the first move and ask him to be my boyfriend. He enthusiastically said yes. We officially introduced each other as a couple to our parents. Both our mothers were overjoyed and proud that they had brought us together. However, over time, I noticed a change in Felicia's behavior toward me. She became cold and distant, sometimes making snide remarks under her breath. When I asked her why she was behaving that way or why she said something rude, she always told me it was nothing or tried to convince me I was imagining things. This bothered me a lot, and one day, I spoke to Adrian about it. He got angry and promised to make sure his mother treated me properly. I was grateful for that. I knew how much Adrian loved his mother, but the fact that he would stand up for me against her made me incredibly happy. I don't know what Adrian said to his mother, but after that, Felicia treated me like she used to before her behavior changed. I was grateful and enjoyed the stress-free time. Adrian and I dated for 2 years before deciding to get married. Our wedding was a small and intimate ceremony with only our closest friends and family present. Shortly after we got married, tragedy struck. Adrian's mother, Felicia, had her house burned down due to faulty electrical wiring. Thankfully, she was safe. Felicia was alright and unharmed as she had been out when the house caught fire. Since she had no place to stay, we opened our home to her. She lived with us for the next year. During that year, Adrian and I experienced great success in our careers. We were in a good place to start a family and decided to try. Within 2 months, I got pregnant. Adrian and I were overjoyed. We had always talked about being parents, and the fact that our dream was coming true made us feel really good. However, our joy slowly started to fade as Felicia gradually became more controlling. I suffered from a lot of morning sickness and cramping. My legs got swollen, making it hard to do household chores because all my energy was spent at work. Felicia couldn't stand this. She would yell at me to do her work. One day, I came home early from work because I was in too much pain. I lay down on the bed and took a short nap. But I was rudely awakened a little while later by Felicia. She began yelling at me for not having done her laundry. Disoriented from being woken up, I asked Felicia what she was talking about. "Valerie, why didn't you do the laundry today? Now I have nothing to wear." "Wait, what? Why didn't you do your own laundry? It's not my responsibility." "It's your responsibility as the host to take care of that." "I'm literally in so much pain right now. Are you trying to start a fight about this?" "Oh, come on. You're just making a big deal out of it. Pregnancy isn't that bad. You're exaggerating for attention. You have no idea what I'm going through. It's not easy for me to manage work and house chores when I'm feeling so unwell." "That's not my problem. I was pregnant once too, and I never experienced all this." "Get out. Get out. Get out of the room. Get out of the house. Get out of my life. How dare you talk to me like I'm faking everything? Who are you? Can you feel what I'm feeling? Get out." Felicia looked scared and quickly left the room. I couldn't believe her audacity. How dare she try to tell me my pain wasn't real? What would I gain from faking my pain? At the same time, I was yelling at Felicia. Adrian had come home from work. He worriedly ran upstairs to check on me and saw his mother hurry out of the room in fear. He walked into our room carefully and saw me crying hysterically on the bed. He quickly sat down next to me and hugged me, letting me cry for a while before asking why I was crying. I recounted everything that had happened with Felicia and how she had been constantly yelling at me whenever I didn't do the house chores. Adrian got really angry and stood up to talk to his mother, but I stopped him. He saw my pleading face and calmed down. "Why didn't you tell me earlier? I knew how upset you'd get. I didn't want you to end up evicting your mother, causing more tension between you two. I felt sorry for her, so I kept it to myself." "Babe, I understand why you did that, but I should have known what was going on. I want you to share everything with me, especially when it's affecting you like this." "I'm sorry, darling. I should have told you, but I didn't want to cause more problems. You never have to bear these things alone. We're a team, remember? I promise you I'll talk to my mother calmly about her behavior, and I want you to be there with me for that conversation." Together, we walked into Felicia's room. I was nervous about what Adrian was going to do. I know that he gets very protective of me, and his temper isn't the best. While I was hurt, I hoped he wouldn't do something he regretted. Felicia looked surprised and asked why we were in her room. "Why are you both in my room? What's going on?" "Enough with the act. Valerie told me everything. You've been constantly yelling at her about the household chores. Well, she should be doing them. After all, I'm just a guest here, right? You could have either done them yourself or waited for me to do them. You didn't need to bother Valerie like that. It's a woman's job to handle household chores. You would never catch me asking you for help with these kinds of tasks. I don't care about your beliefs. It's my house, my rules. I'm your mother. You can't tell me what to do. This is my home, and if you can't respect that, then maybe it's time you find another place to live." "You can't do that. I have nowhere else to go. The only reason I haven't evicted you already is because Valerie asked me not to, but if you cross the line again, I won't hesitate. I promise I won't do it again. Just please don't kick me out. You need to change, Mom. Treat Valerie with respect like the family she is to us." All right. The rest of my pregnancy went relatively smoothly. My symptoms eased as I progressed further along. Finally, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Adrian and I were overjoyed to welcome our precious daughter into our family. We named her Ava. I stayed in the hospital for 2 more days after giving birth. On the 3rd day, Adrian picked us up from the hospital before he left for work and dropped us home. Felicia warmly greeted the 3 of us. "Oh, look at my precious granddaughter. You've done such a wonderful job, Valerie. She's the most beautiful bundle of joy." "Thank you, Felicia. It means a lot coming from you." "Valerie needs some rest now, Mom. She just gave birth, and Ava kept her up through the night." "Don't worry, I'll take care of the baby. You go and get some rest, Valerie. I don't want to be away from Ava so soon. Trust me, you'll need this rest soon enough. Mom will take good care of her." "You rest, dear. I'll be here to look after Ava." "All right, but just for a couple of hours. Then I'll take over." "That sounds fair. You rest now, and I'll do the same later." "Thank you, Mom." With that, Adrian left for work. I went to sleep, and Felicia looked after Ava. I woke up 2 hours later to Ava crying loudly. I got worried and went to check on what was going on. The sound of Ava crying was coming from Felicia's room. I didn't know what was happening, whether Felicia was purposely ignoring my daughter or if she was somehow sleeping through the loud noise. I knocked on Felicia's door but got no response. I tried to open the door, but it was locked. Panic started to set in. I began banging on the door and yelling for Felicia to open it. After 2 minutes, she finally opened the door just enough for me to see a portion of her face. "Felicia, what are you doing? Let me see Ava." "I'm just trying to teach you a lesson. You can't rely on Adrian for everything. You need to take responsibility for your duties around the house." "This is not the way to teach a lesson. Give me my child right now. Complete your chores, and then you can have Ava back. It's time you learn to handle your responsibilities." "What is wrong with you? Remember, the longer you take to complete the chores, the longer your child goes hungry." Fear replaced the anger in me. I was ready to do anything that Felicia asked as long as Ava was safe. I couldn't understand why she was being so cruel to me right after I had given birth, but I didn't have the luxury of arguing about it. I needed my baby fed and safe. I asked Felicia what needed to be done. Felicia told me there was a pile of dishes to be washed, the house needed to be vacuumed because it had gotten dusty, and the common bathroom had to be scrubbed clean. She also said I had to finish everything before Adrian came back and then I couldn't tell him anything about it. Otherwise, she would make things worse for me. I nodded through my sobs and left to complete the chores. I sobbed because I was still in pain, but I knew I had no choice. I spent the next couple of hours toiling away to make the house clean for Felicia. I had to take a few painkillers to stop me from fainting from pain and exhaustion. I also had to be careful not to strain my stitches and tear them. All in all, I was having a tough time and kept crying as I did the chores. I wanted to tell Adrian because this was beyond cruel, but I was scared about what Felicia might do to Ava. I was glad that Felicia had managed to get Ava to stop crying, but I was still scared about what the future held for us. I just wished there was some way out of this. The universe heard my wish and did more than I had hoped for. That day, Adrian arrived home 2 hours early to surprise Ava and me. When he walked into the house, he couldn't find me anywhere. He saw the light in the common bathroom switched on and walked in to see me on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor while sobbing. Adrian rushed over to me and asked why I was overexerting myself like this. At the sight of him, I started sobbing harder. Adrian panicked and pulled me into his arms, gently stroking my hair as he waited for me to calm down. When I did, I told him about what Felicia had done. Adrian was seething, and unlike last time, I didn't stop him. Adrian banged on Felicia's door and demanded she open up. Felicia opened the door and looked at him in surprise. "Adrian, how come you came home early? Did you forget something?" "I didn't forget anything. I came home early because I wanted to surprise Ava and see my family, but instead, I found you trying to teach my wife a lesson in the worst possible way." "Oh, come on. I was just trying to help her be a better wife and mother. She needs to learn to handle her responsibilities." "Help? That was no help. It was cruel and heartless. How could you treat her like that? She needs to learn. It's for her own good." "For her own good? Look at our child. You had no right to involve her in your twisted lessons. She's just a baby." "I know what's best for everyone, including you. Valerie needs to change." "No, you need to change. I won't let you hurt my family anymore. We're done. I want you out of our lives." "Adrian, you can't be serious. I thought you cared about me." "I did care about you once, but not anymore. You've crossed the line, and I won't tolerate it. I will make you pay." "Adrian, please. I didn't mean for this to happen. It's too late for apologies. You need to face the consequences of your actions." He silently walked out of her room and handed Ava to me. I cried tears of joy. I knew you had to be some kind of monster to torment an innocent child like that. Anger swirled within me, and I wanted to make Felicia pay. I asked Adrian what he had done to Felicia. "I'm going to file a lawsuit against her. She endangered our child and harassed you. I will make sure she pays dearly for it," Adrian declared. "But Adrian, fighting a lawsuit, isn't it too much? You and Ava are my world. Nothing is too much if anyone hurts either of you. She had no right to treat you like that. Thank you for standing up for us. I can't believe she would go to such lengths to get her way. I don't know what I would have done without you here. It was terrifying. From now on, you and Ava will be safe. I won't allow anyone to harm you ever again." True to his word, Adrian filed the lawsuit. A couple of days later, Felicia was served with court summons. Felicia was shocked and asked Adrian what the summons was for. "You endangered my child and harassed my wife after she gave birth. I had to file this lawsuit to hold you accountable for your actions," Adrian said firmly. "Adrian, please. I didn't mean to cause harm. I was just trying to help." "Your idea of help is twisted. You crossed the line, and now you have to face the consequences. We're family. You can't do this to me." "Family doesn't give people the right to hurt others. You hurt Valerie and traumatized Ava. I won't stand for it. Please, I'll change. I promise I won't interfere anymore." "It's too late for promises. You have no evidence against me. How will you prove it?" "I installed baby cameras everywhere the night before Valerie got home from the hospital. I've got more than enough evidence of you hurting my family." "Adrian, I beg you don't do this. I'll do anything to make it right. You had your chance to be better. Now you must face the truth. You broke my trust, and I won't let you hurt my family any longer." In the months that followed, things moved quickly in court. Felicia was charged with a misdemeanor and sentenced to 6 months in jail plus an $800 fine. When the judge announced the sentence, Felicia broke down and started wailing in the courtroom. Adrian didn't seem to care about her tears and instead looked satisfied that she got what she deserved. As I watched Felicia get escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs, I couldn't help but feel relieved. I knew that for at least the next 6 months, my family and I would be free of Felicia's toxic behavior. Meanwhile, Adrian and I focused on raising our newborn daughter Ava and didn't let Felicia's actions define us. We found strength in each other and the support of our friends and loved ones. While Felicia was in jail, she had time to think about what she had done. At the same time, Adrian and I worked on healing from the hurt she caused. I couldn't fully forgive her, but I knew it was important to move forward for our own sake and our families. Felicia finished her jail time and sought counseling to make amends for her actions. I wanted to believe she could change, but I remained cautious and never let her come close to us again. One time she tried, and I threatened to get a restraining order. Our lives gradually got back to normal. The pain Felicia caused was still there, but we focused on building a better future for our family and cherishing the happiness Ava brought into our lives.